Tonight, Troy students welcome the Chinese New Year.
Plus ways to celebrate Black History Month. Stay tuned. Troy TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for February 11, 2013. I'm Amanda Ford.
And I am Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. In the Chinese culture, it is now the year of the snake. This information may seem trivial to most Americans, but over the weekend, Troy University's Chinese study welcomed the year of the snake in grand style. Terry Yu has the details.
Celebrate their Chinese Lunar New Year together and show its traditional culture to Troy students.
This year, 2013, is the year of snake. A snake in traditional Chinese culture stands for wise. So today is going to be a very wise year.
Many look forward to the Chinese New Year celebration each year. Participants take part in the celebration and also learn different things.
I think it's one of the great events of the year, and I think if you look at the audience, you'll see how full it is, how many people look forward to this every year, and what a great thing it is for the Chinese students to give us this treat.
One American student says he enjoyed the show and gained more knowledge about the Chinese culture.
I loved it. I thought it was cool, but it was there was a bit of a language barrier that I kind of had to work past. But you know, from what I saw, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
And why should everyone come out and celebrate the Year of Snake with Chinese students?
It can help all of the international students, especially American students. They can know Chinese better, and they will know what's going on about Chinese Lunar New Year. So what can we show to everybody? So just like today, we show all kinds of the show, different show to show everybody know Chinese as well. That's why, yeah.
Terry Yu, Troy TrojanVision News.
Around 300 students from China are enrolled at Troy University, making them the largest international student population on campus.
The Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award honors students, faculty, and staff for their excellence of character, humanitarian service, and spiritual qualities. Rachel Scarborough shows us how you can nominate someone for this award.
The Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award is given across colleges and universities around the nation. One female and male student, along with a faculty member, are selected by their peers.
Award that is given mostly based on the fine spiritual qualities of a person. Other things like and their leadership in student government.
Are there any certain qualifications for the award?
It has to be a senior who is nominated for the student awards, for the male and female award, and then any faculty or staff member may be nominated.
How can you nominate someone for the award?
Nomination forms can be found on Trojan Today, and we have them also here in the SGA office, and it's really simply a matter of filling out a form and writing a short paragraph on that individual describing their qualities.
Why should you nominate someone for this award?
I think it's always important to recognize people for their achievements and to recognize people for what they have given, and this is just a beautiful way to recognize our students and faculty and staff who have given to this university community, maybe through a different way, through their spiritual qualities and what they have, what ways they have enhanced campus life. And I think it's always important to recognize people who have given.
Rachel Scarborough, Troy TrojanVision News.
Nomination forms are due by Monday, February 25th at 4 o'clock in Trojan Center, room 215. Recipients of this award will be honored on April 15th at the Honors Convocation. They will receive a trophy and a certificate. The award has been presented at Troy since 1981.
It's Black History Month, and Troy University's Activities Council wants students to take a little trip to help them learn about the history of civil rights. The UAC is planning a trip to the Civil Rights Institute in Birmingham for Saturday, February 23rd. The cost of the trip is $10, and the UAC says the trip should be both educational and fun.
Trip is February 23rd. It's on a Saturday. Anyone could go. 50 students. First 50 students. It costs $10. Afterwards, we will be going to the Leeds outlet malls, and just encourage everyone to come if they'd like to.
Students can sign up for the trip in the UAC table in the Trojan Center food court through Thursday. The cost is $10 and is due when the student signs up for the trip.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Birmingham, a crew from the National Weather Service plans to inspect storm damage in southwestern Alabama. The crew will determine whether damage to homes in the area was caused by a tornado or high winds.
And in Tuscaloosa, authorities say a 5-year-old girl has died after she was struck by a vehicle. Tuscaloosa police say the girl was walking on 25th Avenue near 4th Street with a 14-year-old girl when both children were hit by a truck. The accident remains under investigation.
And in Coleman, one of the longest-serving officials has left the Democratic Party and joined the Republican Party. Presiding District Judge Kim Chaney announced his switch at a meeting of the Coleman County Republican Party. Chaney had been a Democrat since his election in 1992, but he said the Republican Party better represents his core values.
Still to come on Troy TrojanVision Nightly News, the women's basketball team had a historic weekend on the road. Danielle Percival will have the details ahead next in sports.
But first, Pope Benedict XVI unexpectedly announced his resignation this morning. Who will be the next pope? We'll have that story and more after the break.
Announces his resignation. I'm Anna Matranga at the Vatican. I'll have that story coming up.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Doctor and nurse.
I want to work in the NFL.
Troy University's College of Health and Human Services prepares students for high-demand careers of today and tomorrow. Careers offering attractive pay and the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others.
My courses aren't just classwork. I've worked with the Department of Human Resources to put my skills to work with helping people. I couldn't think of anything else I'd rather be doing.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Amanda Ford at the Global News Desk. Amanda?
Thanks, Bailey. Catholics around the world are wondering who will be the next pope after Benedict XVI made a surprise announcement this morning at a meeting of Vatican cardinals. The pontiff said he will resign at the end of the month. Anna Matranga reports from the Vatican.
Pope Benedict XVI stunned the Vatican, saying he no longer has the strength to do the job. The 85-year-old pontiff says he will step down at the end of the month, becoming the first pope to resign in 600 years. Church leaders express their sadness.
It's like watching your own dad get old and admit that he's not up to all the duties that being the head of a family involves.
The news quickly spread through St. Peter's Square.
Just really surprised. Well, I hope the next pope can be better than this one.
Pope Benedict became head of the Catholic Church in 2005, succeeding Pope John Paul II. He tackled the priest abuse scandal, apologizing to victims and acknowledging the Church's mistakes. But some say he didn't go far enough.
He wasn't ever as popular as the other popes, and there were a lot of question marks over the way he dealt with sex scandals in particular.
This is an historic moment for the Church. A conclave will gather here at the Vatican to replace a living pope. There are several contenders, but no clear frontrunner.
Who among this body has the qualifications, the characteristics,
the spiritual gifts to fill that chair.
Pope Benedict appointed more than half the cardinals who will choose his successor. The Vatican hopes to have a new pope in time for Easter at the end of March. Anna Matranga, CBS News, Vatican City.
Unlike the social issues that dominated his inaugural address, President Obama's State of the Union speech Tuesday is expected to concentrate on a familiar theme from the campaign, the economy. Tara Mergener has more from Capitol Hill.
When President Obama stands before Congress Tuesday night to deliver his State of the Union address, he'll be focused on the economy.
The core emphasis that he has always placed in these big speeches remains the same and will remain the same, which is the need to make the economy work for the middle class.
In his second inaugural address, the president highlighted climate change, immigration reform, and gun control. But with unemployment still hovering around 8%, Democrats are eager to hear the president's plan for getting Americans back to work. Republicans have been keeping their emphasis on jobs and the economy.
The sooner we begin to address our fiscal problem, I think the sooner the economy will begin to improve.
As part of his economic message, the president is expected to ask lawmakers to invest in education, the nation's crumbling infrastructure, and clean energy. While gun control won't be the central theme, it will still get some airtime. Several lawmakers have invited victims of gun violence. Former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords is joining Ron Barber, who now holds her seat. And Giffords' husband, retired astronaut Mark Kelly, will be Senator John McCain's guest. Giffords and Kelly just launched a new TV ad that will follow the president's speech on some channels.
Congress must act.
President Obama will take his State of the Union message on the road later this week. On Capitol Hill, Tara Mergener for CBS News.
A new study out today confirms what we have known for some time. Americans are eating too much salt. But as Allison Harmelin reports from New York, many prepackaged foods are now getting healthier.
Arnold Larkins has high blood pressure, so he tries to keep salt out of his diet. But it's not easy.
When I go into the supermarket, I look at the package and look at the sodium. And if the sodium is extremely high, I don't buy the food.
Packaged and restaurant foods are to blame for almost 80% of the salt in our diets. But now many foods are getting healthier after a nationwide initiative. 21 food companies, including Kraft, Heinz, and Subway, joined leaders in New York City to announce they've lowered salt in their products.
The incremental efforts they've voluntarily made to reduce salt are going to have a big impact on public health.
Most people consume a teaspoon of salt a day. That's more than double the amount recommended. New research from University of California, San Francisco shows as many as 500,000 lives could be saved over 10 years if Americans reduce salt 40%.
Lowering sodium is really the goal that you want to have to lower blood pressure and then prevent stroke, renal disease, heart attacks.
Larkins doesn't eat out that much so he can avoid extra salt.
I'm going to be eating this way the rest of my life. I'm not going to change that because I want to stay healthy.
He tries to stick with vegetables, exercises, and takes his medication to keep his blood pressure in check. Allison Harmelin for CBS News, New York.
Global News Desk to see more stories from across the country and around the world, like some surprises and memorable performances at this year's Grammy Awards. You can tune into TrojanVision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Bailey.
Thanks, Amanda. Now Danielle Percival joins us for a look at sports. So Danielle, overall an action-packed weekend for Trojan Athletics. Very successful weekend. What more can you tell us?
Well, Bailey, it was a good weekend to be involved in women's athletics here at Troy University. Very successful on their side, including one of the most exciting women's basketball games in the history of the program. The irony of sports. You've got to love it. Bottom team in the East Division taking on the top team in the league. Troy had never won against the Blue Raiders, so they didn't stand a chance Sunday, right? Wrong. Troy took Middle Tennessee down to the wire and beat the Blue Raiders in overtime 74-70 for their first ever win against MTSU. It was Joanna Harden who led the team with 27 points, and Ashley Beverly Kelly contributed 17 points and 13 assists. So after a huge victory like that, who was the first person to offer Shanda Rigby a congratulation?
To my phone after going to the locker room because I was going to call my husband Ed, and there was a voicemail and a text message from Jack Hawkins on there. And that was, I don't know, it was just a tremendous amount of support. Sometimes in women's basketball you can have a big win and nobody knows or nobody cares. But it just solidified in my mind how happy I am to be here at Troy and to be a Trojan when that level of support on a Sunday afternoon when other people would normally be off, they were following Trojan women's basketball, and we appreciate it.
The Trojans have now won 2 out of 3 and have the chance to add another in the win column Thursday night. Troy will play host to Florida International on Valentine's Day with tip-off at 5:15. And for the men, they also faced the top team in the Sun Belt, but instead of getting one of the biggest wins in program history, it was one of their biggest losses in Sun Belt play. The Trojans lost to Middle Tennessee 93-41 on Saturday afternoon, a 52-point defeat. Emil Jones led the Trojans with 16 points, but was the only Trojan in double figures. Troy shot just over 30% from the field, and from behind the arc, the Trojans also struggled, shooting only 17.6%. The Blue Raiders, on the other hand, shot well all night as they finished the game shooting 64% from the field. Head coach Don Maestri said it was more than just the Trojans having an off night.
We happened to catch them on a day that they just, everything was just, it was unbelievable. I mean, they shot 73% in the second half. So, you know, it was just bad timing for us. And the score kind of got out of hand. And, you know, you just got to finish that game and get it off your mind and get ready for the next one.
The men will hit the court again Thursday night as part of the doubleheader against FIU. Now, I know you've heard of Ladies' Night, but this really was Ladies' Weekend in Trojan athletics. The softball team was in action at the Bulldog Classic and split their 4 games, but ended the tournament with a come-from-behind victory. Troy won 7-3 over Tennessee State on Saturday afternoon. They used a 3-run home run in the 5th inning to jump ahead of Tennessee State after falling behind to the Tigers early. Rachel Rigney's first ever complete game performance earned her her first collegiate win. She allowed 4 hits and 3 runs while striking out 3. Freshman Brittany Russ led the Trojans at the plate by going 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Up next, the Trojans travel to Tallahassee for a Tuesday contest as they take on number 24 Florida State. First pitch is set for 6 p.m. The women's indoor track and field team competed at Samford this weekend in their final indoor meet before the Sun Belt Conference Championships. Senior Morgan Paulson finished 9th in the 5,000-meter run with a time of 18 minutes, 20.05 seconds, moving her to number 2 on Troy's all-time list and 9th in the Sun Belt. Senior Ashley Hall ran a season best and moved to 6th all-time in the 400-meter. Coming off being Sun Belt Track and Field Athlete of the Week, JaCourtney Alexander placed in the finals of the 60-meter dash, moving her to 3rd in the Sun Belt Conference rankings. And both Trojan tennis teams were in action over the weekend, and in the only action that was on campus, the men's tennis team competed against Southern Miss at the Lunsford Tennis Complex Saturday afternoon. The men lost their home opener 5-2 and were unable to win any points in the doubles. Anash Rushdie defeated Matt Frost in straight sets for the Trojans' first point, and Sammy Gorbel also won in straight sets over Vasco Valverde. The men are now 1-5 this season, but the women had better luck on Sunday, defeating Furman 4-1. Caroline Grimmel defeated a nationally ranked opponent in Lauren Klein. Grimmel was 0-7 in singles play up to that point. The women are now 3-2 and will return to the court on Wednesday, facing number 68 Auburn on the road. So Amanda Bailey, very exciting news coming out of the women's basketball program. Very impressive win over Middle Tennessee. Tough loss for the men's basketball team, but hey, they both get another shot at it this Thursday at home.
Absolutely. Congratulations once more to the women's basketball team. Definitely well-deserved, and better luck with the men's next time.
That's right, and softball season's underway, so it's all in gear. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. Still to come on Troy TrojanVision Nightly News, we'll learn about a Troy program designed to help teach Americans about Chinese culture.
But first, Pike County was under a severe thunderstorm warning last night, and today was cloudy and rainy. Should we be prepared for more bad weather? Jamarlo?
Well, Bailey, those showers haven't left our area just yet, but I'll give you more on that coming up next in weather.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those hands.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
For me, professionally, I wanted a degree that actually means something. And Troy had a great reputation academically. There's a number of, folks in Congress that have degrees from Troy. So, I think that tells you an awful lot.
On campus or online, Troy offers you an extraordinary education that's respected around the world. Troy University. It's all you need to know.
I'm Rich Nugent, and I'm a United States Representative up in Washington, D.C., and I'm a Troy Trojan.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Marlo Phillips joins us for a look at weather.
So, Jamarlo, we've seen some unpleasant weather the past couple of days. Are we seeing that rain to stick around tonight and tomorrow?
Well, Amanda, yes, the wet weather is definitely going to stick around at least for the next day or so, but I'll give you more on that right now. Okay. But first, let's take a look at our current conditions. Right now, we can see that our skies, we're experiencing light rain right now. It may go on out throughout the day. Temperature at 57 degrees, dew point at 54 degrees, humidity at 92%, barometer at 30 inches and falling. Our winds coming from the northeast at about 7 miles per hour. Taking a look at today's stats. Today we're able to see a high of 66 degrees and low of 54. A few light showers throughout the day. Sun rose this morning at 6:29 a.m. and it is going to set this evening around 5:27 p.m. Taking a look at our temperatures from around the state, we can see that we're experiencing those mid 50 to low 60 degree temperatures across Alabama right now. We can see that Mobile is at 57 degrees with those light showers. We can see that Huntsville is at 54, Birmingham 53, Montgomery 57, Troy at 55 degrees with light showers as well. Phoenix City 56 and Dothan sitting at 62 degrees. Taking a look at it, temperatures across the southeast, we can see again in our area we're still experiencing those low 50 degree temperatures, but as we move southward down into the Florida area, we can see that they're experiencing some very warm temperatures in those areas. 76 in Miami, Tampa at 75, Orlando 81, and Jacksonville at 78 degrees. Taking a look at our temperatures across the United States, again we can see that we have a few we can see that we have back in our area again, we can see that we're still experiencing those low 50 degree temperatures, but as we move towards the west, we can see that they're experiencing some very cooler temperatures compared to our area, temperatures in the 19s and even the 30s. Taking a look at our current surface map across the United States, we can see that we have a few high pressure systems sitting out here in the Middle East, as well as one sitting right above Louisiana, as well as these patches of rain here. But taking a closer look into our area in the southeast region, we can see that, again, we have this rain here is from the Louisiana area moving all the way towards the Georgia area, going up into the Carolinas. So we're expecting to see rain maybe for the next 48 hours or even for the next day or so. Taking a look at our precipitation forecast, again, like I said before, we're going to see rain for the next day or so, next 48 hours, maybe up to an inch of rain or maybe even 2 inches of rain. So we definitely need to be on the lookout for that, especially for tomorrow. So if you are thinking about going, or if you are going to class tomorrow, make sure that you grab an umbrella or a rain jacket. Taking a look at Tuesday's forecast for tomorrow, again, we'll still see rain tomorrow, but as we go into Wednesday, we can see that that rain will start to move out of our area. We'll only see a slight chance of rain on Wednesday, but by Thursday, that rain will have moved out of our area, and by Friday, we will be expecting some clear skies. So hopefully for the weekend, we'll have a beautiful weekend ahead of us. Taking a look at tonight's forecast, tonight we'll be seeing showers and possible thunderstorms after midnight. Winds coming from the northeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour with a low of 49 degrees. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast, tomorrow we'll be seeing possible showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. Winds coming from the northeast at about 10 miles per hour with a high of 59 degrees. Taking a look at our 4-day forecast. Taking a look at Tuesday, again, we see that 70% chance of thunderstorms, a high of 57 degrees. Low of 54. Taking a look at Wednesday. Wednesday, we have a 70% chance of rain, possibly sunny as well. A high of 60 degrees and low of 39. Taking a look at Thursday. Thursday, partly cloudy skies. We'll see that rain has moved out of our area. A high of 63 and a low of 33. And taking a look at Friday. Friday, we're expecting to see those sunny skies come back into place with a high of 64 degrees. So, Amanda, Bailey, hopefully for the weekend, we'll be expecting a nice weekend, a nice and clear weekend.
All right, thank you, Jamarlo.
Thank you.